What's up, YouTube? We're back in action. It's Friday night. Baby's sleeping, and it's time to make some progress. As you can see, my garage looks like hell once again because the kids needed a new bedroom set. The girls did. They were growing out of their little kid beds. They share a room, so we do the best we can with a 4-bedroom house, and 4 kids. So a 3-bedroom house and 4 kids. You do the math. So, thankfully the baby's in our room. We have a big enough master bedroom that she can, we set up a room for her in there with her crib and everything. But yeah, so the girls needed new beds. The old stuff ends up in the garage, but they got a beautiful new room. They're happy. They're quiet tonight. Mama's happy. She got her new jogger, Schwinn stroller thing. The boy's happy. Far Cry 5 came out. I picked it up for him, surprised him on the way home from work. So everybody's quiet, and I get my wrenching time. Yeah, so this is where we're at. It's just found out the next track day is going to be the 21st. And if you've been watching my videos, you know where I'm at with this guy. And some of the things that I talked about that were broken and needed some attention when I got back from the last track day. And I managed to scrounge up the things I needed. Some of it came from Roven, some of it came from King Moda. You guys know how I do it. Some of it came from Amazon with low C pot numbers, believe it or not, really cheap. Some of it came from friends for free, and some of it came from DDM. So I managed to do all that in the last week or so and get everything I need really cheap. I'll talk a little bit about that. As far as the Baja is concerned, I wanted to mention that quickly because I think I'm bringing it to the track with me. It's time to either putt around the track or just beat the piss out of it and smash that body to pieces. I don't know, one or the other. But I'm tired of seeing it sit here. It's bad enough that this beautiful beast of an RC is just sitting there collecting dust because, even if I did pull the trigger and started spending the money on it, I don't even have the time for it. So it's nice knowing that it's sitting there and I can get to it at some point, but I got to get this thing running, man. I want to see this SCZ engine broken in, running, and ripping, and I do want to see it wheelie. So I'm going to pull out the 1856 gearing, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it back down to the 1757, which means I need to buy a new spur, a new Hostile spur, and I need to buy a new pinion. And I have to buy the special Vertigo pinion for it, the big beefy ass one. And I bought some. One of the things I hadn't upgraded on this yet was the fuel, the fuel line. And because I had that vapor lock issue with the other truck, I decided to buy the Snappy RC, the vent system. And I had some fuel line laying around. Some of it came with this Vector. And then I had this stuff, this orange stuff, clear orange stuff that I bought from DDM a while back. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this fuel line upgrade done, and button up the the ass end of that thing, and I think I'm gonna take her to the track with me. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'll beat the shit out of it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But that all depends because we got to make sure this is ready first, and there's quite a few little issues here. The rear drive cups are in absolute terrible shape. The fronts and the rest of them are, the center, the fronts, they're all in real good condition, believe it or not. But these things are just mangled. And so, yeah, and believe it or not, the pins are, they're still holding up. So I bought the FLM, the Fast Lane Machine Forever cups for $27 from DDM. So those are going in there. And the shock tower issue I've been having, I scored a set of brand new Losi factory shock towers, which, by the way, the difference in the metal between the King motor and the Losi is, it's a visible difference. So I'm assuming they're a hell of a lot stronger, and they just feel stronger. So I'm going to run that for now, and once I bend that, I'll spend the money and buy a modified or, something beefier, something hopefully permanent. And I may run a bumper this time, so I was able to get just the upper bumper piece that I needed to run just the bumper. And, yeah, so I had the rest of the pieces, because every time I had to buy pieces for this thing, you have to buy them and clusters, you know, sometimes pieces you don't need. So I had the rest of the pieces. I can still use this rear bumper, of course, the actual bumper itself, but I just needed this upper piece here. As you can see, you know, it's I had a screw through it and everything. So, and that was just in the middle of the day at the track, trying to keep it together the time before last. So I may run the bumper. I may cut these end pieces, you know, that piece off and that piece off, and just run this center kind of solid rectangle here. I don't know, but I do want to, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, so that's that. The rear shocks, the bladders. Ever since the day I got these things, there was an issue with the bladders. They just, one of them anyway, was not seating right, and it was basically ripped. It had like torn the edge of it, so the bladder didn't sit right at the top of the shock. And I thought that was the issue because I could never get the shock to, when I filled it and bled it, I could never get it to just not puke fluid. It would constantly puke fluid out of the little hole. And of course, that's all fluid right there with clay stuck to it. The pipe coupler. I notice a lot of guys run the big black zip ties, and they don't seem to have this issue because they're not running a clamp, which is wearing a hole through the damn coupler. This is the second coupler, the one that came with this pipe. This is the pipe I got from one of the nicest guys I run into up there at the track. Just handed me the thing and said, listen, I'm not using it anymore. So he gave me the pipe and he gave me the coupler and the mounting brackets and stuff, but the coupler that was on it was, I mean, it had been used, but I ran it, and of course this eventually just split right through. And this is the Rovin coupler, or the King Motor coupler. This one's now split from one day up there, and I put some zip ties on it thinking, you know, that might help. That was to get me through the day. So I bought a new pipe coupler for $3 from DDM. Yeah, you can see what I did here because I don't have the time, nor do I want to take the chance of screwing that up because putting these on is a pain in the ass. But that MSD boot looks a hell of a lot beefier. And the reason this is split is because it landed on the roof and the 30 North panel actually sunk down low enough to hit this. And you can see the indent. There's an actual indent like this in the actual roof of the 30 North panel. So it split this, and yeah. It's shoe glued and held together with tape, and there's no metal exposed, and it'll work for now. I got a broken tooth. These teeth are like knife blades compared to the way they're supposed to be. Why they're in such bad condition and the tooth broke, I don't really know. All my mesh spaces are in place, but I did run this, that pinion with the King Motor engine. One time when I lost an engine mesh spacer, I ran a Jaffa 18.5 spacer in one of the slots and stock ones in the rest of the slots. So the engine was kind of cocked, and you could hear a bit of howling. It was making some noise, but it got me through the track day when I couldn't get stock spaces sent to me in time, and I wasn't going to let that stop me from taking it to the track. It didn't even get a lot of run time, to be honest, because I ended up having the vapor lock issues, but that may have done a number on my pinion and just weakened it up, and I snapped a tooth. So yeah, I got a new pinion from Rovin. I was going to buy a better one and spend $20-something, buy a decent Losi one, but I spent $13 because I'm a cheap prick. And yeah, with this shock, I'm going to go ahead and see what's up with this one, see if the bladder is not seating right. I never had issues with my front shocks, or I only had issues with one of them, to be honest, all this time. And this one here is now puking pretty bad. So we're going to pop that off, see what's up with that. Front dog bone had a snap pin. Those pins, guys, I don't even know why they bother selling that pin kit that you can buy for $8 that comes with all the miscellaneous size pins, because, dude, getting those pins out, you either have to have that tool or, I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but those pins do not come out easy. So the amount of time you're going to waste trying to get a pin out, let me just save you the time. Buy yourself a dog bone that comes with the pin already pressed into it and call it a day. If you're lucky, you'll find a brand new Losi dog bone on Amazon for $10.26. Crazy, right? Right after I bought it, the picture disappeared. And even when you go into my orders now and you try to look for it, the picture's not there. The description's there, but the picture isn't. It's weird. So it's like they screwed up or something. because as everybody knows, these don't go for $10 brand new. So we got that, and that's going to replace this front one. This pin, or this dog bone and pin setup, was a Losi. So I snapped the King Motor one. A guy gave me a Losi one, and that one snapped. This dog bone here, this is a King Motor dog bone. It was bent. I'm sorry, the previous one was bent, so I replaced that right before the last track day, before I took it up there with the new G320 in it. And that one held up, so I'm happy about that. What else? Oh, just a quick, well, you know what? Why not, right? I'm a cheap prick, as everybody knows. I got this for, I don't know, $4.50, $5 as an add-on item on Amazon, right? This is the same one here. I've had this for a year. Been to the track many a times, and it's just now to the point where it's done. Should I spend the money and buy the outerwear? I don't know. You guys let me know. Are they that much better? Probably, right? But if this one lasts me 6 months, I'll be happy. We got a pile of bent up King Motor and King Motor alloy here, the factory one. Let me show you the difference in the metal. Sorry about the lighting. This is the Losi one. Again, I got a set for $30 from a friend of mine, Chris, another super nice guy. Look at the difference in the metal quality from King Motor to Losi. You can just feel it, you know. So I'm hoping this is a lot stronger, because again, I didn't want to spend the money and buy a real nice one yet. I'd like to just get through this track day and the one last track day that we have in May, and then the season's over down here for the summer because it's just way too hot to run. So the season will be back open, I think, in October, and by that time we'll see where we're at. So yeah, Chris was nice enough to sell me a set of these brand new Losi ones, stock ones, for $30. Mike F, by the way. I fudged up his name in the last video. I used the wrong last initial and realized it after the fact. Sorry about that, Mike. He handed me this thing, guys. Just handed it to me. Hey, dude, I got this in one of my boxes. You know, I didn't order it. They gave it to me on accident. It's a Turtle Racing grabber bell, and he was on the impression, he was recommending the snapper, the Turtle Racing snapper clutch to me. Because he knows I was having an issue with this clutch here, and you know, I told him, I said I used the stock Zenoa clutch with an 8,000 spring. That's what I'm running today. And he goes, dude, Danny, I'm telling you, you need to take a look at that grabber clutch, man, or you know, give that a whirl. His buggy, you guys have seen it. I get comments on it every single time I make a video. It's a nasty little bitch. That black buggy, and if you haven't seen my track videos, watch the track videos. He's the one in the last video that sent that damn thing like 15 feet into the air. Not to mention just hearing the thing. You just hear that engine and that pipe, and it's a silenced pipe. You wouldn't think it listening to it, but it is. It's just a nasty little bitch, and that grabber clutch in that buggy is insane, right? So he handed me this thinking that it was for the grabber clutch. It's not, and that's, you know, that's perfectly fine. This is basically an upgraded stock style bell. It's for a stock clutch, and from the testing results, they say they had really you know, really good results with it as far as like heat and, you know, the venting and the clutch life, etc. It's got these little tiny grooves into it. Each one is followed up by a hole in the bell to release the heat. So yeah, I'm going to use this, and I'm very thankful for it. This is the coupler. Again, you could buy this in DDM, and I'm going to try not to run a clamp and get some beefy zip ties, because like I said, the guys up at the track are using those, and their couplers seem to be lasting. Roven. I can't say enough about Dan in New York. I told him, I said, listen, I can give my money to AliExpress and buy 10. They sell a 10-pack, because Losi don't sell them anymore. If you guys have tried to look for them, you know. FID sells them with a set of 4 O-rings for $16. They're on eBay, Amazon, and in AliExpress you can buy a 10-pack of these from China for like, I don't know how much, $12, something like that. But I don't need a 10-pack. I needed one. Well, I told Dan that, and I said, listen, I tried to see if anybody had this stuff laying around and was willing to give it to me, or sell it to me rather. Nobody did. This is all I needed. I broke my stock one the first time I used it. I snapped the pin off of it, and I broke the alloy one that came with my truck. That's all I needed. They don't sell this pot alone. AliExpress does. By the way, AliExpress, if you're looking for bumper pieces and you don't want to buy the whole entire bumper kit for $37-40, you can buy each and every bumper piece as well as cage pieces for the Losi 5 from China individually, right? So check it out. Type in Losi 5T bumper, and they label it like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that kind of thing. But I didn't want to wait, and the track day is the 21st. God forbid the pots didn't show up in time. I needed this little sucker. So he sold me this. I told him what bumper piece I needed. If you guys go to the King Motor and Roving websites, they don't sell these things individually, guys. However he made it happen, he made it happen. So he sold me this. He sold me this. And he sold me 4 brand new ones, which, by the way, I noticed that the rare ones, the ones that are marked A, are deeper. Mine aren't. I remember what mine look like in my shocks. They're not deep like this. So maybe that's part of the problem. All that for 13 bucks. New Roving pinion, 13 bucks. 10 bucks. I think this is 19 bucks. That's for the Baja. FLM drive cups. Again, these things are absolutely beautiful. They have a lifetime warranty for what it's worth. I made sure I asked around before I bought them. Big bore guys said they use them, love them, never had an issue with them. Racers said they love them, never had an issue with them. So that's what's going to go on the back there, maybe in the front eventually for 27 bucks from DDM. These are the snapped, again, unless you got some special tool, guys, I don't know how the hell you're getting those out of there. So that's that. That's what we're working with. Just a couple of miscellaneous things that need to be done, and she'll be back up and running again. And hopefully I'll have time to turn some wrenches on that and bring it and get some sick video. I scored this little tiny hat clip for $7 for the clone camera, and I needed this screw piece. I broke the clear case that this comes in, and I busted all the two-legged female end pieces, so I had nothing and no way to mount this thing. So the last couple times I was up there, I could only mount it on this cheap tripod that I had. So I've been getting shitty footage. Or wear this ridiculous head thing, this headband thing. So this should do the trick. And having this piece here, it came with this piece for $7 on Amazon. This will allow me to mount it to any of the mounts that came with the kit. So I can fix something to the truck this time and get some kind of, some first-person view type stuff. I know that video is not always the best, but I think when we get a couple trucks on the track and, we're ripping around it, I think it'll be some pretty sick footage. So we'll see. What else? Yeah, so I'm working in an absolute pigsty. I would like to say I have the time to, or I would like to have the time to really just get this all organized and get it cleaned out and bring whatever needs to be brought to the dump. I don't know, but I don't. And so I'm going to have to just work in this little area here. This rare shock, I wanted to show you guys this. This is the one that I had a problem with. From the day I took this truck out of the box, it was leaking. And I told Dan that, and he sent me a shock rebuild kit, but the rebuild kit didn't come with the bladders, and that was what I thought was the problem. Well, look at this screw. It's loose. It's almost all the way backed off. So keep an eye open for that, because it apparently happens. And yeah, you can't even see my bench, right? Can't even see this bench. Oh, I finally decided to buy some decent oil. You guys would be proud of me. I spent $12. Check it out. And those of you guys that aren't a fan of Klotz, relax. Don't go too hard on me. If they sold M's Oil Dominator, on DDM. Trust me, I would have bought it. If they made the stuff a little bit easier to buy, I would definitely have it. And if it was a little less expensive, maybe too. I have a tough time spending a shitload of money on oil, so yeah, this is what I got for now. But I will eventually give that Amsoil stuff a try, so don't knock me yet. All right, I need to turn some wrenches, guys. I just want to make a quick video because you guys are just pumping videos out like crazy, and I can't keep up with you. So keep them coming, by the way. I watch a lot from my living room on the PS4 on the big screen, and the kids, they're in the living room. My wife's in the kitchen or whatever, so they're kind of getting to know some of you guys, and you know who you are. So, Only Fifth Scale posted a video the other night with some 50s music. Bro, you had my whole family dancing and my wife singing in the kitchen to the 50s songs. I was like, this dude, unbelievable, right? So keep them coming. We enjoy them as a family, and I know I enjoy them, and I'll try to do the same. I know some of mine are just me rambling and the same old shit. Dan's getting his truck ready for the track again. Oh, Dan's home from the track. His truck is beat to shit and broken. Dan ordered some new pots, and Dan's going to put his truck back together in record time and make it to the track. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at lately, so hopefully things will get a little bit more exciting when I can start getting some run time on this thing, and we can watch it wheelie across the field, because if it don't, I'm going to fucking drive it off a cliff. And we'll see what happens with this bad Larry. We'll see. We shall see. Big bore, maybe, I don't know. Definitely not that Rovin 40.45cc. If you guys haven't seen the videos, do a search, man. 45cc Rovin Big Bore has finally made it to YouTube. Anthony Davis is his name. Just a real cool guy, you can tell. And I ended up subscribing to him. He's gonna keep the videos coming. He's at a point with the motor where he's really not impressed with it, but after you watch the videos, you'll see why. So if you haven't seen that thing yet, and you're interested in knowing about that engine, or just maybe a good laugh, check it out. Thanks for watching, guys.